Hey, what's up guys? Rami here with your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for Thursday, August 27th. Today is going to be a huge day for stimulus negotiations. Both sides haven't talked to each other in a while now, but we're finally getting some movement here and all sides want a stimulus package. They're just arguing on the size of it. So this is good news that they're at least going back to the table to discuss and they're hopeful of getting something done. So make sure to hang tight for the entire video. I'll make it short and concise and I'll bring you up to date with everything that's going on right now. All I ask in return is to please hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so I can update you on everything regarding the second stimulus check and stimulus package, plus more money and finance news. So let's start with good news coming out of a very tough Republicans who didn't want any stimulus package to begin with and were even happy that negotiations fell apart. One of those senators is Senator Ron Johnson. He was so glad that negotiations stopped and happy that a stimulus package looked like it wasn't going to happen. But now he backtracked on that and said that he believes 51 Republican senators are ready to come together and vote on a targeted stimulus package before Labor Day. This is not the skinny bill that we talked about before. It looks like Republicans are going to modify that skinny bill a little bit to actually vote on it. The Democrats in the House voted on the HEROES Act 100 days ago and knew that it was a completely partisan bill, but they did it anyway and just said, here, we voted on a bill and the Republicans don't want to do anything about it. So now the Republicans are trying to do something similar. This bill they're going to propose is assumed to have $400 for unemployment insurance, a second round of PPP money, money for schools, $10 billion for the post office, money for testing and contact tracing, and also money for vaccines and treatments. It looks like they're also going to remove the liability protection to make it look like a more bipartisan bill that the Democrats can vote on. The problem here is that it doesn't have a second stimulus check, no money for state and local government, no rental assistance, and no eviction protections. So this is a super skinny bill. My guess here is that if they vote on this, it will put more pressure on the Democrats to actually negotiate with them, and then we can see the stimulus checks thrown in there, which both parties have previously stated that they support completely. Then the Republicans will say, okay, we want liability protections if you're going to add some state and local funding. So I think this will trigger more negotiations from both sides. Now, speaking of negotiations, Mark Meadows, the White House's chief of staff, said in an interview the other day that he had reached out to Nancy Pelosi. He said, I actually had my staff reach out again yesterday to Speaker Pelosi's chief of staff to say that we haven't heard anything from her. The president wants a deal, but I'm not optimistic. I think the speaker is going to hold out until the end of September and try to get what she wants in the funding for the government during the continuing resolution or whatever funding mechanism happens to come up at the end of September. He's referring here to Congress having to agree on government funding by the end of next month, or we'll see another government shutdown, which is something I'm sure they don't want to happen. Given the situation of the country right now with a pandemic and major hurricanes, there's no time for the government to shut down right now. Absolutely no time for that. But then Mark Meadows has said, it's time we reach a compromise and hopefully we will. On the Democratic side, Nancy Pelosi seems to still be hardlining and not wanting to budge, but at this point, she's not very popular with the American people and also her own party. Even CNN's Jake Tapper was talking to Nancy Pelosi and said, you say the House Democrats are on the same page with regards to the stimulus package negotiations, but almost half of the Democratic caucus signed a letter this week calling on you to pass a standalone unemployment insurance bill, and a number of the most vulnerable Democrats are urging you to restart negotiations. In the letter they wrote, the reality is that only bipartisan solutions will deliver much needed support, and that requires principal compromise by both parties. We must keep negotiating no matter how difficult. Inaction is not an option. Then he asks her, How much longer do you think your caucus is going to stand together on this as the stalemate continues? Then, of course, Nancy Pelosi responds saying, my caucus is standing together on this. I invite any idea that they have. I welcome them and their number of letters, one aspect or another, and I welcome that, but they want the negotiations to continue, but not just what the administration wants, but what the country needs today. Then she talks about how they passed the HEROES Act and all the things that's included in it. She also told reporters that she's going to talk to Mark Meadows today only to respect the fact that President Donald Trump's representative has reached out. But she doesn't view him as the lead negotiator, and she actually views Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin as the lead negotiator, and that the conversation might be short. She also said if they are willing to meet us in the middle, then we can sit down and talk, and that they should bring much more money to the table. So the Democrats wanted $3 trillion, the Republicans started with $1 trillion, and the Democrats wanted them to meet in the middle at $2 trillion. But now the Republicans are going to propose something that's $500 billion or possibly even smaller. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm just glad that there's at least some movement now. They're actually going to talk to each other again. And I really, really hope they come to a reasonable agreement together and finally pass something that the people need. We'll keep track of what's happening, and I'll always bring you the latest and most accurate information regarding the stimulus package and stimulus check. Let me know what you think about all of this. Let me know in the comments, and also ask me any questions you have. I try my best to answer as many as I can. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos for you. And make sure to check the link in the description for the SoFi Money account. If you open an account using that link below and deposit $500, you'll get a $50 bonus. Then you can refer your family and friends and get $50 from every referral up to $10,000 per year. So that's a good way to make a few $100s right there. The account has no fees, no minimum fees, no overdraft fees, and no ATM fees at over 55,000 ATMs around the world. It's a fantastic product. I absolutely love it. Also, don't forget to get your free stock from Robinhood and 2 free stocks from Webull, with one of them potentially worth up to $1,400 when you deposit $100, which is just like cash. You can take it out anytime you feel like it. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.